Who went
Okay.
Void Ray Colossus?
Hey guys, this is Aegis,
This is
and
SG Super Slinky.
alright, so I'm gonna be casting this game with Super Slinky. Hopefully the people who are also in the Skype call have muted themselves. And this is Antiga Shipyards. This is a best of 3, I guess, on Antiga Shipyards. All 3 games will be played on Antiga Shipyards, and it's asking me who I think will win.
I personally voted for me for the win. I believe his he just has a really strong macro style.
Yeah, I
I've seen
just
it.
clicked him too. As he is playing as his main race, I guess. Did either of them pick random?
No, I believe Carlo always picks. Oh, we have some talking going on here. Elmo and me for the win, asking you who's nervous. Looks like a
I don't know. That's a new word actually. So we don't know what that means. So apparently, me for the win is not nervous with an I. Not sure what that means. We'll get a definition from someone later.
we'll have to check in on that.
Yeah, we'll have to check with Elmo about that definition there. He is going to be over here as our pink Zerg player. They are in a close-ish air positions, I would say. So we'll see if any sort of airplay comes out. But on this map, generally we see more ground-like units for Terran players, and maybe sometimes mutas for our Zerg players. And the natural expansion is now on the way for Elmo.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed in a lot of these newer maps, though, especially with this map right here, is that they don't have any real close air positions, which makes it harder for Zerg to scout with that early Overlord. I think that's starting to become really popular with these newer maps, but
I see.
But I mean, that's just like something I've been noticing. But you're right, with the expansion going down, I believe that was a 14 hatch. He's going to have that early minerals. It's going to help him stabilize his economy much quicker, but it's always good for this kind of map.
And we have the pool coming up, and the full wall off by me for the win. He's not.
And actually with me for the win, he's going for an early bunker harass over in the natural.
Oh, it's just yeah. I wasn't paying too much attention to it because I know that's not gonna do too much damage. Looks like the bunker does get cleaned up, and the SCV gonna get taken out as well. The drones will be able to return to mining at the natural expansion pretty easily. There is still a Marine coming over here, so we'll see how much damage he's able to do.
Well, we actually have one more Marine, and we have 2 SCVs plus another Marine coming up to provide support to him.
Okay, so there are 8 Zerglings on the way, so he's already elicited an overreaction. There is a spine crawler coming up at the front, and all of the drones getting pulled off the lines, so this is a super overreaction. So TicKleMeElmO is already behind, and the natural expansion coming up for me for the win. He's also got a Reaper on the way, and the tech lab completed. Still no second gas, so we'll see when he decides to take that bunker coming up back at home to help him defend the natural expansion. So that Reaper will be able to continue the harassment or do a very nice defense, as Reapers are absurdly good against Zerglings.
But one thing I am noticing, though, is that me for the win is still only on 1 Rax. Actually, now he does do the tech switch to the factory, which is going to be probably Blue Flame Hellions, considering the fact that he has the tech lab on there.
Yeah, so those Zerglings are going to be coming in here. It looks like that Reaper may almost get picked off. There's the Reaper returning to the bunker. And that was really close on that Reaper. Let's take a look. I want to see how much health he has, but I guess I can't unload it for him. Me for the win, oogling over himself.
Well, you know, you gotta feel proud about yourself when you save a Reaper like that. But the only problem with that, though, is now that TicKleMeElmO knows that the Reaper was out, so he cannot do any type of harassment with that unit, which is unfortunate, though.
Yeah, but he was able to hold it because of that Reaper, since Reapers are so good against Zerglings. If it was just those 2 Marines, it would have been harder to hold off, and probably would have done some damage there with those few links. Now the orbital command coming up at the natural expansion, siege check on the way, so no Blue Flame Hellions as of yet. But it is still a very popular tech pattern, so we'll probably see him do it eventually. The 3rd base is on the way for TicKleMeElmO, and the Automaton in his main, checking things out.
And we also have the 2nd Rax coming up for me for the win, with no attachment yet. Actually, he looks like he blocked himself in on that one. It looks like it's actually going to be a tech lab. So it actually looks like it has. Does he even have his stim and his marine armor yet? I don't think he does.
I have
I think
no idea. So
those are actually some pretty crucial upgrades though that you would be missing though.
yeah,
Especially.
I don't know, just because I can't check. You can't click on a unit in this thing and see if anything has been done. Looks like stim is on the way, so that's actually a really late stim.
That is actually, if that stim upgrade is so important nowadays, especially with the early, especially road harassment that seems to happen a lot. Is that stim helps out so much, but I mean, even still, even missing the marine upgrade for the I can't look at the upgrade right now, but the extra 10 HP for the marines though,
Yeah,
that's also
shield.
really big. Yeah, combat shield, that's it. But yeah, that's actually really important too that he's missing.
So it's gonna be probably 100 seconds before he can actually do any sort of pushing, just because that stim pack upgrade is not yet complete. He's now getting additional barracks over here in the main, and the third base is now complete for TicKleMeElmO. So this is actually looking increasingly good for our Zerg player. He just needs to do some additional teching. He does have a Baneling's Nest on the way, as well as the Evo Chamber coming up. And we also have speed now, only now finishing up, so that's also really late speed for our Zerg player.
Ooh, I'm starting to realize this. If you look, he has a Baneling's Nest in his natural, but he's also building one in his main. I don't know if that's by mistake, but
that's gonna be definite mistake. There's no 2 upgrades for a sick timing on those 2 upgrades. So this is...
Oh, is he gonna notice it? He doesn't notice it, so he just lost, I believe Baneling's Nest is 150 minerals.
I don't know how much a Baneling's Nest costs, but that is a pretty big blunder there. 150 minerals and 50 gas.
Minerals, 50 gas. That's quite a lot though when you think about it in terms of tech and upgrades.
Yeah, if you think about it, if in terms of like more Zerglings or more Banelings to be able to hold off this impending push, Sea Shanks on the way, as well as the Reaper going to be joining this, and a ton of SCVs getting pulled off the line. That's definitely not to go mine at the natural expansion. I don't understand why you would send so many over to the... Oh my goodness.
Oh, this is complete all-in by me for the win. He pulled everything. He has no mining going on except for a couple.
So the problem here is that the Banelings are out somewhere, and if they get a nice big splash over here, it's going to be disastrous. A scan going off, and stim going down, and those units are going to have to be microed perfectly. Siege Blast going down, and all of those Banelings running straight across there. It looks like Me for the Win's forces have been whittled down considerably. A ton of SCVs lost, and more Banelings being morphed right now, but it's looking like Me for the Win has a great opportunity to be able to do a ton of damage, and more SCVs getting produced back at home. The Sea Shanks now sieging up. More stim pack going down. That's a little bit of an overstim, so we'll see if he's able to bust in here. A couple of Zerglings sacrificing themselves over there in the back.
He's actually in a really great position right now as far as the concave goes, because right when they come off that ramp, they're going to be sieged. Plus, he's going to take out the third, which is pretty big. But with very little mining going on, though, and fully saturated bases at the main and the natural for TicKleMeElmO.
Those Marines are about to get their combat shields, so they will have some additional health at the ready. Looks like the Zerglings and Banelings now running down the ramp there are going to crash right into all of those Sea Shanks. More Marines reinforcing here. The Banelings actually wasting themselves on 2 Marines there just a second ago. The Sea Shanks are able to hold this position, but additional Zerglings are on the way. It looks like this is going to be a lot of trouble for Me for the Win. He's only got 2 Sea Shanks out in the field against 12 Zerglings. That's going to be troublesome to deal with, and he is beginning mining back up again. But with this push, he's only been able to deny the third base, and that's not going to be able to be enough to prevent our Zerg player from getting a ton of mutas out and expanding twice after this.
Yeah, this is such a really bad position for Me for the Win right now. I think he was putting a lot of effort into that all-in that he just did, but with the mules being as effective as they are, those OP little buggers, I mean, they're so imbalanced. But no, with the mules being back home, though, with the orbital commands, though, he's going to be able to get his economy back up very quickly. I mean, if you look at the drone count to SCV count, I think he was
But he is not going to be ready for those mutas when they come out. He's not got enough Marines to cover all of the surface area. He's got these supply depots in the back that can get picked off. He only has 3 barracks and only 1 has a reactor. And with this low economy, he's not going to be able to throw up additional barracks or even go for Thors. And here come a couple of sacrificial lings. We'll be able to do some damage. But the Spire is now complete. I'd really like to see Elmo expand twice off of this. Looks like he's actually done it, but at the gold expansion, there's a 2 for all to see.
Laugh out loud, UBM. I'm trying to think of, don't know what he's talking about though.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about either. He can...
17 mutas are in production right now.
Oh my gosh. There's the first round, that's 9, and a couple more spawning right now, 5 more on the way. This is such a big group of mutas. They can probably engage... Well, they can engage half of this Marine army direct head-on. Looks like a couple of turrets are up, but it's not going to be enough against such a large crowd of mutas, and more mutas popping out. Still, I don't think there's an upgrade for them, but this is going to be able to do so much damage. And looks like that there's a drone at the gold, at the ready to be able to take that expansion.
Yeah, he's he's really eager to get that expansion though, especially that gold. Just to add on to his overwhelming lead that he has right now. But I'm surprised that TicKleMeElmO hasn't pushed out yet. But
I'm surprised he hasn't harassed yet with his mutas. And he's now moving out across the map. He is going to be getting into position over here, possibly to harass in the back and strike through the front. We'll see what he decides to do. There are Thors now on the way for meFTW. He knows he needs to get those out in the field in order to deal with those mutas. And Queen on the way, 4 more Overlords. Looks like he is not supply blocked. There's a Thor over there in the main. Oh my gosh, all the mutas are clumped up, and there are Marines reinforcing.
A lot of damage
Looks
right
like
there.
Not too many mutas lost. That Thor will be able to get repaired, and the muta is going to be poking into the natural expansion as well. And still not too much damage done as of yet. And that I'm just waiting for that gold base to get taken, and it's just not happening.
This is just something I've been looking at. If you look at the supply count that's going on right now, meFTW has caught up so much. He's now at 104 supplies compared to 144. Yeah, I'm actually surprised how well it's coming back, and the SCV to drone count is 48 to 59, which is incredible.
It's because TicKleMeElmO has spent so much on this this army over here and not really made too many drones after that push, and didn't really expand twice as quickly as I expected him to. And all those mutas weren't actually doing too much harassment. Looks like the roll in with all of the Zerglings and the Banelings, and the Banelings gonna be getting in there. Looks like nothing really connects with all of the Marines, but most of the Marines have gone down anyways. Thor is lumbering forth, trying to do some damage. The muta's gonna be crowding in and magic boxing that Thor. It will be falling so quickly. Oh man!
I thought he was gonna say it for a second, but yes. No repair, and I do believe that is
the
GG.
mutas flying, hovering over the Terran production buildings over here is not a good thing to be, especially with the units popping out one after another, going to be able to pick everything off so easily. And there comes the SCVs, going to be repairing up a couple of those turrets, and there's the gold expansion finally going down.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't take that sooner, but he's in such a good, strong position that at this point, I feel like he could just go in and just finish it off. Especially 125 supplied compared to 62.
And meFTW's upgrades are actually really far behind. If I'm not mistaken, it's the 20-minute mark, and only now infantry weapons level 1 now finishing. I think he has weapons level 1 for his mech. But that's not going to be enough to hold off such a large ball of mutas, and all of these banelings morphing in right now. Another hatchery is coming up as a macro hatch at the 3rd base over here, as well as 24 Zerglings popping out right now.
This is so many Zerglings right now that he has in banelings, 22 banelings, and I think this is going to be the final push. meFTW's trying to put up some bunkers to protect himself, but there's just so many mutas.
And there's a GG from meFTW. Look at all of those Marines getting splattered. And we're going to be going to game 2.